Hey guys, it's Brian here, and I'm back with another haul video. Now this is actually my fourth time trying to do this one. I completed this video 3 times, but kept screwing up too much. Kind of embarrassed to actually try to upload those. So hopefully this will be the last time that I try to do this. All right, so we're going to start things off with this first title. This is the only DVD for this update, and this one is titled Pleasure. This is a 2021 French film, although it was directed by a Swedish person, and the star is also Swedish. I think the director's name is Ninja Thyberg, and this is about a young Swedish woman who decides that she wants to break it big, or try to make it big in the adult film industry in America. This one kind of plays out like Boogie Nights, but a little more graphic. There isn't any hardcore sex in this film, but there's plenty of like simulated sex scenes and full frontal nudity. It's a really cool release. A friend of mine actually had given me a copy of this on a USB, but I really wanted to have a physical copy of this release. And I picked up this one because I really like the artwork. However, the Region A release has better special features. This one does have an interview, a 15-minute interview with a couple of French journalists, which is interesting to watch because they're asked questions in French and they reply in English, even though they're both Swedish. They do mention some deleted scenes, which is rather unfortunate because it's not on this release. So at some point I'll have to pick up the US release. Although I will warn you not to watch this one in mixed company because you'll end up sleeping on the couch. So, yeah, that's that. All right, next title I want to talk about is Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. And this is a visual vengeance. Is it Vengeance? Visual Vengeance? Yeah, Visual Vengeance released from Wadeye. That's their line. This is like the Japanese Evil Dead, if I didn't already mention that. So I was excited to see this one. This is the first number title in this line. Although this will be the last one I'm picking up. And it's because basically I was watching the trailer for some of the other releases. And basically these are shot on video films. And they're putting them on Blu-ray and the quality isn't there. Like, I know they're probably thinking who wants to buy a DVD, but I suspect that they may look better on DVD, or, you know, like if you're going to put something on Blu-ray, at least make sure that it looks good on Blu-ray. I guess it's cool just to have it released, but, you know, it's just kind of weird. Like, it's not nothing you're going to be able to, it's not like demo worthy, you know. The cool thing about this release, though, is it does come with these little fake video cards, like, which I think is kind of cool. I'm sure the other releases in this line have these as well, but I won't be finding out because I won't be picking these up. All right. Next, we have the Kindred. Really excited to have this in my collection. This is a title I haven't seen since the VHS days. I remember not really liking it as much because I didn't think that there was a lot of creature effects in it, but there was a fair bit, a lot more than I remember. Because I thought at the end of the film you didn't see the creature, but you do a lot more than I remember. So happy to have this one. I would like to have this steelbook, but that thing is expensive. All right, this next release is something I haven't seen since I was a kid as well, and that's Don't Go in the House. And I remember really hating this movie back when I was a kid, but I decided like to give this one another chance now that I'm an adult, because you know, when you're a kid sometimes you look for different things, and I kind of see why I hated this film when I was a kid. I enjoy it much more now, but when I was a kid, it's mainly because this is like one of the pre-slasher films that they don't follow the template of Friday the 13th. This one, you have a man whose mother passes away and he has a psychotic break, so he decides to build a room where he's going to burn women alive with a flamethrower, which is kind of awkward. Most of the kills, aside from the first one, take place off a screen. But there's a lot of good weirdness in this movie. This is a nice set as well. I took the slipcover out of the the artwork out of the case because I wanted to show you guys a bit about it. This is the original VHS artwork, but on the inside they have some German artwork, which I think is kind of amusing because they make it look like it's a zombie movie. Now, if I had been a kid and rented the film with this cover, I really would have hated this movie then because I love zombie films, and this film was definitely not a zombie film. On the inside, it's interesting too because this artwork here, this disc art, is kind of odd because this looks nothing like the main actor, whose name is Dan Grimaldi. I guess he won the greater fame in The Sopranos, but he's not even, the hair color, everything is weird. Like, that's very odd. But happy to have this film in my collection. Next up, we have Faceless. And this is a title that's been on my want list for a long time. This is a Jess Franco film. I remember back when Shriek Show had released this on DVD. I always wanted that release, but I never was able to get a hold of it. And then went out of print, so I was really excited when Severin got this one. So I did watch it. This is the 4K. I'm happy to have it in my collection. All right. Next up, we have All About Evil, and this is an upgrade. I previously had the German DVD. I still do, which is a good release in itself as well, but it's not, you know, obviously on Blu-ray. And this one does come with the soundtrack. I'll open it up here. You can, I guess this is the, there's a lot of tracks on the soundtrack. It's like 42 cuts. That's pretty cool. So this also comes with a booklet, which is really cool. Cassandra Peterson's also in this film. All right, let me just put this to the side here. I'll deal with this later. And my last Severin title for this update is Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. And this is a title that I've seen around at the conventions back in the day, but never bothered to pick up. I thought it was a cannibal film, and it kind of is, but it's more of an adventure film. This one's a lot of fun. It's a great exploitation film, and it kind of goes through different genres from like action to disaster to cannibal to back to action again. I really did enjoy this one a lot. I'm really happy I decided to pick this one up. Great artwork as well. All right. Next up, we have Crimes of the Future, a David Cronenberg film. This movie was weird. Everything about it is just like, I don't know, like the science and everything. It really doesn't really make much sense. You know, this is like David Cronenberg expanded upon that short film he made in the late 60s. This one stars Viggo Mortensen and Kristen Stewart, and both of them are really weird. Like Viggo Mortensen in this film, like he's always in some form of discomfort, making guttural noises and stuff like that. And Kristen Stewart is a little bit off as well. Really love this artwork. I won't take it out of the slipcase because it's kind of, the artwork under that's kind of bland. It's just too bad that we didn't get a 4K release of this one, although I'm not planning on upgrading. All right. Next up, we have Orphan First Kill. And this is one I wasn't initially interested in checking out. I know this one came out last summer, and I think it's streamed on Paramount Plus. And this is a Canadian release, but it got really cheap at Walmart, so I decided to pick this one up. And I'm glad I did because I actually really enjoyed this one. I'm not really a big fan of prequels because usually when a franchise goes to a prequel, that's usually when I run out of ideas. But this one, they made it work. And the amusing thing about it, too, is the main actress, Isabella Fuhrman. I think she actually was a child when the first film came out. But this is like made like 13 years later. So I think they digitally took her head and put it on like a child's body. And it's fairly seamless, although she kind of looks more like an adult, more so than I need to go back and watch the original film. And Julia Stiles is really cool. They found a good workaround for the twist in this one, so that's the main reason why I ended up enjoying this one. If they were smart, they could have actually turned this into like a series of this storyline, at least for a season, because there was enough ideas to do something like that. But yeah, I really did enjoy that one. All right. Next up, we have Hell High. I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. This is the Arrow release, although I would have loved to have gotten the UK exclusive release cover art. Although this one kind of spoils, like both the cover arts kind of spoil this film. It's kind of like a a home invasion style slasher film. This one came out towards the end of the slasher subgenre, but it's just some good weirdness. And the weird thing about this film is there's no likable characters in this film. There's no real hero, which is kind of interesting as well for a film like this. And this one did hang on to the old Joe Bob Briggs intro. And I think there's a commentary as well. I need to watch it again with the commentary. All right. Next up, we have Fright Night. This is the 4K Steelbook. I do have the Eureka Blu-ray release, and I wasn't going to pick this one up at first, but then I was looking at the special features, and there's new special features on this, and they put it over the You're So Weird, Brewster, whatever the name of that documentary. So yeah, I'm happy to have this. I need to break this up and watch this. This is one of the ones, like for something I tried to watch most of the films if I'm not too familiar with them, but this one I obviously am familiar with. I watched this a lot back in the 80s. All right. Now these next two releases are Black Fawn. They're local releases. And we have Astonishing Tales of Terror, Rocktopusy, and Death Valley. And the coolest thing about these releases is the faux DVD artwork. You can put them to the side. You can see the spines here. Look like VHS tapes. They're both low budget movies that were shot in my home province of Ontario, Canada. And they're both super low budget. I think the makers of Death Valley mortgaged their home to finance the film, and they actually ran out of money, but then Shudder helped finance it at the end, so they were able to finish it. Of the two, I enjoyed Death Valley a little bit more. Astonishing Tales of Terror, which I think also goes by Rocktopusy, is the more silly of the two. It kind of feels like an asylum movie. It takes place mainly in this mine in northern Ontario, but the geography is all messed up. Like in this mine, they have a Cthulhu-type squid creature. There's like a Templar Knight. There's like Aztec or Egyptian writing on the walls. Like the geography for the area doesn't make any sense. Like it's just all over the place, but it is kind of silly. The special effects are a little bit wonky as well. Like, you know, that, with the asylum style CGI, This one, Death Valley, plays more like a Resident Evil style film with these creatures in an underground lab. But of course, they couldn't afford to actually create a set big enough to create the lab. So half the film was like an action movie that takes place in the forest with these guys being shot at and stuff. They're decent releases, for the most part. I got them for an okay price. So there's that. And last up for this haul, we got Bloodbeat, and this is a Vinegar Syndrome release. I haven't watched this yet, only because earlier in this year, Red Letter Media did a review for this one, and their reviews are fairly spoiler. They go through like the whole film, and this one's about a possessed samurai suit that comes alive at night and kills people, which is such a weird idea for a slasher film in the 80s. So I don't know, but I really wanted to get this one, especially since it comes with like a shortened version of the film, a silent version. I think it's like 28 minutes long, with like some progressive rock band did a score for this one. So I'm interested in checking that out as well. So there's that. All right, guys. So looks like I made it without screwing up too much. Like, this is my fourth go trying to make this upload. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you all later.